Hi, welcome back to 10-Minute Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain a survival thriller movie from 2015 titled, Curve. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins with Mallory, driving alone to Denver for her wedding rehearsal. On the way, she stops for a rest, looking at the ring on her hand and becoming deep in thought. Just then, she FaceTimes with her sister, Ella, who tells Mallory that she hasn't bought her plane tickets yet. Ella wants to make sure Mallory is truly in love and happy with her decision. Mallory reluctantly responds by telling her sister that she is happy and hangs up. She continues to drive while listening to her fiancé's voice messages about his tight business schedule. He wants her to make sure she'll be at the church on time tomorrow, which upsets Mallory. As she meets a T-road, she decides to turn left to visit the scenic canyon pass instead of heading to Denver. Just now, Mallory looks so carefree and happy while enjoying some road trip music. After a few minutes, the car suddenly alarms for some engine errors. The girl has to pull over to take a look by herself. After checking the oil, Mallory tries to start the car but fails. She then makes a phone call for the car service but there is no signal. She gets back in the car and accidentally stains her shirt when having a soft drink. While Mallory changes her clothes in the back of the car, she is startled by a hitchhiker named Christian. Realizing the car breaks down, he offers to fix it. Surprisingly, Christian can get the car started. Mallory suggests paying the young man for the help but he refuses. Mallory gets in the car and drives off after thanking Christian. However, feeling guilty, she stops and offers the man a ride, thinking that he seems nice enough. The two share their lives with each other, saying sometimes it is easier with a stranger. Just then, Mallory realizes there is something very odd about Christian as he keeps talking about the fate that brought them together in the same car. What's worse, he continues to make some bad jokes about his body parts, which disgusts her. Mallory gets angry and sends him away, only to learn that he has a knife in the bag. She is forced to keep on driving while Christian claims that it was meant to happen like this. The man commands Mallory to get to a little motel down the road, which has been abandoned for years. She then notices that Christian doesn't fasten the seatbelt. Taking this chance, Mallory decides to speed towards a guardrail near a curve, attempting to kill him. However, Christian realizes it and tries to stop her, but the car plunges off the cliff at the end. Mallory wakes up and finds herself upside down in the car with cuts all over the body. She manages to unlock the seatbelt, just to realize the car's trapped at the bottom of a ravine, and her leg ensnared in the wreckage of her SUV. Looking towards Christian, who's slowly gaining consciousness, Mallory leans for the knife nearby. However, he tells her that it was good to know each other and leaves her there alone. Mallory desperately shouts out and beeps the horn for help but nobody is around in the middle of an isolated ravine. When the night comes, she attempts to pull the leg out, but it just keeps bleeding when she takes efforts. Shaking from the cold, she puts on the hoodie and drinks the last drops in the bottle. Suddenly, there is some noise seemingly from wild animals. Mallory turns on the car's light to send them away during the night. Luckily, there is no dangerous ones at that time. The following morning, Christian comes back and lets her know that he found a cabin nearby the night before. He confronts her about the reason she drove off the road. He then asks if it was because she was afraid he would rape her, smearing the girl that she must have read too many stories. Mallory doesn't answer his questions and only asks for some water and food. The psychopath will give her food provided that she shares about her first time of making love. As Mallory mentions about her first love Theo and their fun times, Christian keeps asking more and more sick questions. However, in the last one, Christian changes his mind, saying that Mallory only fantasizes about Theo. He abandons her again without giving her food as promised. Another night arrives, Mallory gives up on waiting. She writes some notes for her sister Ella that she loves her and the name of the psychopath in case someone found her. Turning on the heat in the car, she realizes it is not warm enough. Mallory burns out some garbage outside of the car to keep herself warm instead, eventually even throwing the bridal veil to the fire. She has no regret for doing that and finds it a relief in fact. While sleeping, she is annoyed by some of the rats. Terrified, she smashes one of them with the car key. Later, Mallory decides to eat the rat as she has been starving for 2 days long. She uses the knife and cuts open the dead rat, taking some slices of meat and grills it in fire. Finally, Mallory has little food in her stomach. The next day, the phone vibration wakes her up. She attempts to take the phone back with a wooden stick, but soon is interrupted by Christian again. Mallory quickly hides the phone away and pretends to listen to his story. The man shares that he has spent the night tormenting the family who owns the cabin. Christian is impressed seeing Mallory has started to fight for her life after seeing the dead rat, saying he is proud of her. Suddenly, the phone vibrates again. The psychopath storms in and fights with Mallory to take it back. He then trembles the phone in pieces and leaves her again. Before that, he tells her that he will not kill her, he only enjoys her escape efforts. He then gives her a handsaw. Mallory says she can't cut the door with it, but he tells her he doesn't mean that. She soon realizes he wants her to cut off her leg, or else she'll die of bleeding out and decaying leg. When Mallory asks why he treats her like this, she also mentions the photos in his wallet, which was a happy family of Christian. He says it was a fake photo he uses to lure people like her. After that, Mallory tries to enlarge the seat by the saw, but it only works for some second and breaks apart. She then uses the saw blade only to cut her leg, and finds herself helpless as she couldn't make it. As being dehydrated, Mallory has no choice but to drink from her own urine, which is apparently not easy to swallow. A moment later, a huge rain comes, relieving the girl a lot. She takes this chance to drink as much as she can from the rainwater. After that, she sees a car light upon the road. She tries to call them for help, but it turns out to be Christian. She thinks of an idea to use the dead rat's blood and smears it around her trapped leg. When Christian checks on her, thinking she is dead, he enters the car and realizes this is a trick. However, Mallory immediately attacks him with the knife. Christian luckily survives, but Mallory steals his car key while the two fight. She triggers his car's siren and throws the key away, which he can't find. He rushes up to the car parking to stop the alarm with a knife. At that time, a police car approaches and asks if he needs a tow as the weather is getting worse. Christian lies that he left the key inside the car so he might need a ride to a cabin nearby. The police officer is happy and willing to help him. Meanwhile, Mallory tries her hardest to draw the police's attention with her flashlight and the car horn. When the cop says he hears someone calling for help, Christian tells the police that he doesn't hear anything and the rainstorm hits so bad if they don't hurry. The cop reluctantly agrees and leaves with the psychopath. As the rain pours badly, a flash flood wipes out the valley. Mallory decides to amputate her leg before drowning in the car. However, she can't do it by herself. Just then, the car is swept away by the flood. This, fortunately, allows her leg to get rid of the seat. She swims towards the shore and escapes from the car. Her left leg is badly injured and has no feeling now. She relies on a stick to keep walking. As she walks by a house, she hears a woman calling for help from inside. Although injured, she crawls along the house to check on the woman. She comes across a bear trap, but luckily she can avoid it. She realizes this is the cabin where Christian mentioned earlier. She finds the owners dead on the bed, and the girl is their daughter. When she hears some male's voices, she learns that it is the cop earlier. She witnesses him killing the police officer and keeping the girl, Katie, as a hostage. When Christian gets to the second floor with Katie, Mallory sneaks into the house and takes the gun from the cop. Later, she waits until the man leaves so she can rescue Katie, who is held captive on her bed. Hearing the noise in the room, Christian storms in and confronts the poor girl. Hiding behind the door, Mallory opens fire at the man, but fails due to being scared. She then tells Katie to leave while fighting with Christian alone. She struggles to deal with the killer until she pushes him off the balcony. Mallory and Katie both come to check on Christian, finding him wounded by the bear trap. She then gives him the same chance as he used to do with her by throwing a knife at him. Mallory also mentions about fate and things supposed to happen like this after all. Katie helps Mallory get out of the cabin while Christian gradually dies from the injuries. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you're new. And at last, I'll say stay well, stay safe, thanks.